This webinar, it's called basically managing your clients and supplier database. It's going to be webinar is going to last alongside, I believe, no longer than 30 minutes. Depends on the questions you guys have. You are going to be muted throughout the entire webinar. If you have any questions, please use the Q&A or the chat box, and as soon as I can address them, I'll answer any questions you might have, either while we go along or at the end. In this webinar, we're going to cover how to add clients and prospects to the platform, how to complete client profiles with the different sections that we have available, how to share clients with other advisors, how to segment your database using custom exports, storing credit card information, adding new suppliers, add contact information to those supplier profiles, and how to create and assign labels to suppliers. So that being said, I'm already sharing my screen, and let's get started. So once you get into Charlotte Contact, as you know, you'll land in the dashboard. Here it's going to give you a brief summary of everything that's going on. For the purpose of this webinar, I'll only take a look at my clients. In this sense, you'll have the summary of your entire client database. You'll see how many clients you have and how many prospects you have. That being said, we're going to take a tour and now go to the clients module. In the clients module, you'll see that the first thing is that we'll have our entire client list. From here, there's a lot you can do. For example, you can manage how many clients you see per page. So let's say if I wanted to take a look at 50 instead of 10, I'll just need to select 50 and then I'll have all my clients show up in that list. I can filter this depending on my access level. As you know, we do have for advisors, you're going to have my clients, assigned clients, shared clients, and prospects. If you're an admin user, you're going to be able to see all clients from the agency as well. And then finally, you can sort this as you see fit. Exporting clients is fairly simple. All you need to do is click on export. And now I'm going to show you the difference between the different exporting capabilities that we have at Charlotte Contact. So for example, if I wanted to export all clients, all I need to do is click on all clients. It's going to give me the download date, the export type. I'm going to click yes. And that's it. It's going to be downloaded as a CSV file. Everything, including everything that I've already included into the client profile, will be downloaded to my platform. If I wanted to do a custom export, all I need to do is click on export right here. Click on custom. It's going to ask me the export scope, so I'm going to say only my clients. It's going to give me the number, so I have 80 clients. I can choose parameters, add additional filters. So for example, let's say that I wanted the age range, and I want everything from 0 to 50 in this case. So I can click on next and say belongs to the agency, date of birth. I also want to see the agent email, the first name of the client, and the last name of the client. The file type is going to be a CSV, and the name is going to be under 50. Once I have everything set up, I can click on export, and as you see, it's going to export the file with all my clients included. Once that is done, it's going to show up right here on my download bar, and then I can take a look at it and just keep working with it. You'll see here that I have both my exports, so this is a complete client list, and this is the under 50 CSV. It's always going to download that for you, so you can export whatever you need at any point. The other thing I want to go over quickly before we start creating clients and taking a look at the client file is how to share all your clients at once. So in Charlotte Contact, we have two different settings. Your agency can be private or public. Public means that all agents will have access to all trips and all client information. However, everything regarding transactions, reports, and reports is going to be available only your information to yourself, and it's not going to be shared with anybody else. And then we have the private agencies where client information and trip information is private as well. So each agent will only see their own information, but you can share and choose to share anytime with another advisor. So if I wanted to share, let's say, the entire client list with one person, all I need to do is enter their name right here. Sorry. Platform will do a search. I will choose a person from the list and now click on save. That way, all my clients will be automatically shared with that specific advisor. If I wanted to remove access of all my clients to an advisor, all I need to do is click on remove right here, and the access would be revoked right away. That being said, let's go how to add clients or prospects to Travel Contact. So the first thing you can do is click on add client right here. Now you'll see that to add a client, all you need is a first name, a last name, and a method of contact. You'll see that when the client option is selected, you'll have 3 required fields. Our method of contact, or the method of contacts, the methods of contact that are available in Travel Contact are an email address, a main traveler, or a phone number. So email address, pretty self-explanatory, same as phone number. In main traveler, you're always going to have the information box right here, but the main traveler basically is going to be somebody you're going to assign as a contact method for this client, somebody who already exists in your database. So in that sense, you'll need to add the name of that client. So let's say if I'm adding someone new, but I want this specific person to be their main traveler, all I need to do is select that person, select, let's say, the relationship, and then enter first name and last name, and you'll see that I'll be able to add that person right away. So you'll see now that the icon right here turned blue, meaning that all my required fields are met, and now I can go ahead and create a client. The only difference between creating a client and a prospecting Travel Contact is going to be this small detail. If I select prospect, you'll see that the method of contact is no longer a required field. That being said, you'll be able to still create that person into Travel Contact. You'll be able to add as much information as you want or can for that person. However, you won't be able to add them to any trip until you give them a method of contact. So those are the 3 basic things when creating a client, and that is the basic difference between a client and a prospect in Travel Contact. So now let's say you created your client and we open the client file. Automatically, every time you add a client into Travel Contact, the client file will open. Of course, if you do it from the client module. If you add it from the trip module, we're not going to open the entire client file for you. But if you open it from the client module, then we are going to open automatically this file, and you can start entering as much information as you want or need on your client. Entering information in Travel Contact is fairly easy. You'll see that you'll need to click on edit on the different boxes, and then our information fields are basically comprised by 3 different types, which are going to be simple selection, drop-down menus, or simply filling the information into text boxes. That is going to be the entire difference of everything. So once you're done, you click on save, and all that information will be saved right away. You'll see here that in the client file, we have all informations on the left, all main categories on the left, and then you're going to have subcategories on top. Yeah, so the thing is that if you can always create them as lead or prospects, and then when you're going to build the trip and you're going to include them, Travel Contact will automatically ask you to give them a method of contact so you can add them to the trip. So you won't be able to generate any trips for prospects, only for clients. So in that sense, you'll need to do it manually. I mean, if you try to add the prospect to the trip, Travel Contact will ask you right away to give them a contact method, and then you'll add them to that specific trip. And it doesn't matter if the trip is a draft confirmed. I mean, and that is something that we're going to review next week on the trips module webinar. But right now, the idea is if you want to add them to a trip, you'll need to give them a method of contact, and then automatically, once you give them a method of contact, they'll become clients. Great. So you'll see here that we have all our categories on the left, as I was saying, and subcategories on top. Let's take a look at credit cards, since it's one of the topics that we cover in this webinar. You'll see that our credit card center or credit card tab is powered by Auric. So Travel Contact has a lot of third-party integrations as well as core developments. Auric is one of those integrations that we have, since they are PCI compliant, and this was a great way to guarantee the safety of the information that you store in Travel Contact. So you'll see here that you can add a card at any point. Still, all our required fields would be identified with a red asterisk. For example, one of the cool things is that you can bring the main client as a billing address, the main client address, I'm sorry, as a billing address, and then you'll only need to enter this 6 fields that we have, 5 fields that we have right here, and then that can be saved. You can mark card as default at any point as well, and then once you add that information, the card will be added to the platform. You'll see that we also track expiration dates and let you know. And at any point, you might edit this card that exists already, or you might delete it if it's no longer working for you. To reveal the information of a card, you'll see that all we need to do is click on View, Reveal Information, and this is going to send a code to my email. Once I receive that code, I can enter it right here, and then I'll have access to the card for 3 minutes. So I can take all that data in and do whatever process I need to do with a credit card. But that is some of the things that we have established in Travel Contact as security measures in order to keep your credit cards, your client's credit cards safe. That is one of the things that we've implemented, and Auric is a great system for that. If you need to know more about Auric, we always provide the link to their system, and then you can take a look at the entire company and know exactly what they do and how they protect the credit card information that you'll store right here. The preferences section is going to work in two sides. If you have a Virtuoso agency, you'll have a preference and a Virtuoso preferences section. From the preferences section, you'll be able to manage everything regarding general interest from your clients, where they want to travel, who they travel with frequently, if they have any particular preferences, time of the year, everything, you'll be able to have it right here. And you'll see that you can just select and unselect as you see fit. Through the Virtuoso preferences section, you'll be able to manage everything regarding marketing codes from Virtuoso, such as communications, subscriptions, and preferences when it comes to travel as well. If you were a Virtuoso agency, you'll see this Virtuoso preferences underneath trips, and then you can manage everything right there for your clients regarding Virtuoso. Travel Contact is completely integrated with them, so with Virtuoso. So every night we do a system update. So every night we'll update all your preferences that you set that day with the Virtuoso database, so you won't have to do it in both sides anymore. The agency information section basically is going to give you the ability to take a look at the back office of the client. That's the way I call it, in the sense that you'll see if it's a source client, if you're already sharing that, who is the general information of that client, meaning who created it, what date, etc. Leave any comments and any additional information right here. Also, I showed you before how to actually share all your clients at once with a specific advisor. From this section specifically, you'll be able to share individually. So if you don't want to share all your clients with an advisor, but you do want to share one individual client, this is a place that you would come to. You would write the name of that person right away. Once they're added, you'll click on done, and now this specific client will be shared with them, and only this client. And you can remove that sharing the same way. If you click on edit and simply say you no longer want to share this client with that person, then already remove it. It depends on them on Virtuoso. If you've checked them to receive the magazine and you have the address correct and they're signed up for direct mail in your preferences, then yes, they'll receive the magazine, I believe, physically. If you're only signing them up for email campaign or email Virtuoso marketing campaigns, then they will only receive that digitally. I'm not quite sure if Virtuoso is still sending magazines. I can check that out, but I am not certain if they're still sending those to you. Yeah, every time and every day overnight, we will update those preferences in case you guys make any changes. Basically, the platforms talk to each other every night, and they change whatever has been changed on one platform or the other. Great, thank you. So that is what we're taking a look today into clients. You'll see, of course, we have different modules and you can review them all. As you know, trips will give you a list of the entire trip. Additional documents lets you upload things like you were using cloud. Communication sends will show you how many communications you've sent to your client from the reminders module. And basically, all the different sections have different functions for your client. But for the purpose of this webinar, we were only meant to take a look at credit cards, preferences, and agency information because of sharing. That being said, let's take a look now at the suppliers module. Our suppliers module basically will let you store and keep all your suppliers database. You can manage as much information on your suppliers as you need or want, and you can add as many suppliers to the platform as you need or want as well. That being said, Travel Contact does work in 2 levels with suppliers. We do have a core list or database available to all clients that use Travel Contact. And then we have your own suppliers, which you can upload, individually or as a bulk at any point. That being said, it doesn't matter if the supplier it belongs to you. I'm sorry, if it's in the core, it will still have two levels. So for example, let's say that on this airlines usually are in the core. So let's say that I'm looking for American Airlines as a supplier. American Airlines usually is already on the core. You'll see it right here. Two things you can do. You'll see that the first box that we see here, which is general information, is going to be available in the core, and it's going to be available to everyone that uses Travel Contact. However, labels and additional information is going to be only available for you guys, and it's only going to have the information that you enter into Travel Contact. So in that sense, just keep in mind that we do have two separate levels of access and security. So it doesn't matter if something is still in the core, you can still manage it privately when it comes to contact, comments, and your own labels. Adding information into Travel Contact or into a supplier is very easy. All you need to do is, for example, you'll see here that I need to add labels. If you wanted to add labels to this, and labels are basically going to help you segment your supplier database. But if you want to add labels, all you need to do is say, okay, this is something that I think New York would like. I have my two already created labels, which are New York Best and New York Favorites. If I wanted to add a new one, all I need to do is say Favorite Airlines, for example. You'll see that it says it's not created, so I'm going to go ahead and create it. And once I'm done, I'm going to click on Add. And those two labels are going to be added to that provider right away. If I go to the additional information, you'll see here that I can edit all the information at any point. I can edit any category that I want to add here. I can edit or add any comments that I might have when using this particular supplier. And finally, I can add any contacts that I have. As usual, you'll see that it's always identified what we need with the contact type, with a required field at red asterisk. So aside from that, everything is optional, but this is mandatory. Adding, let's say adding a supplier in Travel Contact is very easy. All I need to do is click on Add Supplier, and it's going to ask me to add the supplier type and the supplier name. Depending on the supplier type, it's going to bring or auto-populate a lot of information from Travel Contact, from Google, into Travel Contact, or sometimes you'll need to enter them manually. For example, if I were to say adding a lodging or hotel, most likely when I state the name, it's going to bring forth everything from Google. So if I say Four Seasons Tokyo, as you can see, it brings the information from Google and everything is auto-populated. If I was adding a tour, for example, most likely we won't bring the information from Google because we don't want to mix any information that we might have. So since a lot of tour companies usually have common names or something like that, we just don't want to get things mixed up. Aside from that, you'll see that in our suppliers module, you'll be able to use all of these filters, and they're cumulative. So if, for example, I enter something in the search and then add a label and then finally add a country and type of service, it's gonna use one on top of the other. If I only wanted to look for, let's say, suppliers in Argentina, then I click Argentina, it's gonna do that. And then if I wanted to say, okay, but I just want to see restaurants in Argentina, then I can narrow it down. And then if I wanted to apply a label, then I can do that as well. Remember that you can clear all filters at once, and I can do a simple search, or I can do advanced searches as well right here. And basically labels are going to work the same way as any filter. So for example, if I would say New York Best right here, it's going to show me all those suppliers that I have stored under that specific label. That is basically what we have for this webinar. As you can see, it's pretty basic. It's just going to cover these two modules. Next week, we are going to get into the trips webinar, and we're going to show you how to start building trips and how to start building reports from those trips. So if you want to take a look at that, I'll see you next week. I don't know if you guys have any questions at the moment. If you do, please let me know. If not, just leave you with a reminder of our help center. At any point, you can go ahead and open that help center, type in any questions that you might have. We're going to bring forth all the articles or any help that we have from this section, and you can review them, check them out, and if you still have doubts, you can contact us at any time. Great, Stephanie. I'm gonna check it out, see what happened, why it wasn't sent. If not, we'll send it today at some point. Usually they arrive the next day. So if it was yesterday, it would be sent to you during someday, at some point during today. If you still haven't gotten today, please let me know. Raul at chavocontact.com. That's one of the other things that I am going to be usually the point person for you guys or your travel contact guru. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me or let me know. Thank you so much for being here and for your time. And if there are no questions, have a great day and a great week.